In this training video, we're going to look at naming cells and naming ranges within Microsoft Excel and using named cells and named ranges in formulas. So in this example, if I look at what a named cell means, if I click on cell B13, the name of cell B13 is called B13 because it's in the name box. That's telling me the name of a cell. Well, then in effect, if I look at the headings, in effect that means January turnover because it's in the turnover row and it's in the January column. So in effect, the name of cell B13 to most people would mean January turnover. So I could name it January turnover just to show you how cells are named. And I click back in B13 in the name box and I'm going to type in Jan. And if you want a space between names, you must put underscore. So I'm going to put underscore turn over and then press enter. So if I click on cell C13, it's called C13. If I click in B13, it's called Jan turnover. And I can always widen the name box a bit if I wanted to. Well, what I'm going to do in this example is name two quarters, quarter one and quarter two, plus the annual turnover. So I'm going to highlight B13 to D13, and then I call that QTR1 underscore turnover. I'm now going to do the same for E13 to G13, and I'm going to call that QTR2 turnover. And that's enough for the analysis of this particular example. I'm going to name one more cell, and that's going to be the annual turnover. And that's going to be cell N13. So I call that annual turnover. Now, when you've named your cells, it's always advisable to test them to make sure they're working. So I click on the little drop-down arrow next to the name box. There's the four names. Just going to test them individually. Jan turnover, that's working. QTR1 turnover, 3 cells are working. QTR2 turnover, 3 cells are working. Annual turnover, working. So I've created a business analysis area for us to actually use names within calculations. So for example, with the first business analysis, I can see there's quarter one as a percentage of annual. So what I'm trying to do here is find out what quarter one is as a percentage of annual turnover. Now to Excel, and I'm going to do it in a big merge cell, which is going from F21 to G26 in this example. Now with a named range of cells, so for example quarter one, Excel looks at this as just figures, so 3 individual figures. It happens to say, well, B13, C13 and D13, which happen to make up quarter one, are just 3 figures. It doesn't know what to do with these figures. So just because we've named it quarter one, in a formula, Excel doesn't know what to do with it. So what we need to do is tell it what to do. So what we want to do in this case is find out the total of quarter one, so the sum of quarter one, and then as a percentage of annual divided by annual. Now annual doesn't need a sum against it because that's going to be an individual cell. So any individual cells, Excel can cope with. If you're naming ranges and blocks of cells, you need to tell Excel what to do with it. So quarter one is a block of cells. We're going to use the sum function. So the sum of quarter one. Now to use a name in a formula, it's the formulas tab. And under defined names, you can see the names we've now put into Excel. So we're going to use the sum of quarter one turnover. That gives me an answer of 51,634.5. Now when you've completed the sum, you click OK. Now I'm going to still remain in the formula bar. Now I'm going to click after the turnover, divide by, and this time annual. So it's the sum of quarter one divided by the annual turnover, enter. So that gives me 0.16. I can now format that, make it look nice. So I'm going to right click in this case, format cells, percentage, and leave it at 2 decimal places. Now I could make this look prettier. So I can format this further. I can make the font size much bigger, 24, and I can format it within the cell. So just make it look more presentable. So 16.95% is what Q1 is as a percentage of annual. Now, for example, businesses can use these kind of percentages to look at trends and where their money is going. So if we spent a lot of marketing money in Q1 to promote our business, and it only brought in 16%, well, you're thinking, well, what happened to the marketing money? Where was the effective use of it? So percentages can be very useful in looking at trends and analysis. There's another example I've got in this particular training video. This time it's the difference between Q1 and Q2. So this is going to be the sum of Q1 minus the sum of Q2. So the sum, and again the formulas tab, using formula, it's going to be Q1. Okay, now the difference means minus. So minus the sum again of Q2. So this tells me there's a negative variance between Q1 and Q2. So this is telling me, by looking at this analysis, and I'll make it a bit bigger, so I'm going to format it, the size of the font. So I'll make it 24, and I'll center align it, and I'll bold it. So this is telling me that Q1 has brought in 29,397.34 less than Q2. That's why it's a minus. Again, if I was looking at marketing trends and I'm spending money in certain places, this can be very enlightening as to where money is going, and you can hold meetings against these kind of figures you're now showing and projecting and analyzing. So names can be very, very useful in analyzing business trends and business information. I'm just going to show you what happens if you delete a name from Excel, because a message comes up. So I've used Q1 twice now, once in the Q1 as a percentage of annual, and the second time the difference between Q1 and Q2. So in the Formulas tab, there's an area called Name Manager. Now this is very useful for finding what named cells and ranges you've got in Excel. So for example, if Q1 was named incorrectly, I can edit it. So you can edit from the Name Manager. I'm going to cancel that. In this case, I want to delete Q1. So again, from the Name Manager, and then press delete. So are you sure you want to delete Q1 turnover? In this example, we are. Close it down. Now the word name appears. So what's happening here, if you look in the formula bar, it's looking for the sum of Q1. Well, there is no Q1 turnover anymore. We deleted it. So that's why the name has appeared. So if you ever see a name message in Excel, it means it's looking for a name that is no longer active within Excel. So this completes the example of name cells and name ranges in Excel, and using name cells and name ranges in Excel calculations.